The one good thing that COVID has brought out in the call center industry has been that there's been a rapid adoption of the digital age. Contact centers or call centers have traditionally always worked from a central environment, and it's only in Europe a few years ago that the trend started to consider work from home solutions in terms of some of the campaigns that they ran. Onset of COVID, hugely challenging. Lots of call centers had to close completely for a short space of time and reconfigure. During that time, if technology allowed, they were able to deploy their agents from home using laptops and having to remotely log into systems, protect customer data, and the work integrity and all of those good things. Some of the challenges were unexpected. Not everybody has the same connectivity at their homes. South Africa is what it is. We don't have readily available fiber connections to our properties, so we rely on the radio network, or the cellular network as it's known, and that's a radio-based system, and that comes and goes. So there were those challenges that had to be overcome. Many of the agents' home circumstances had to adapt. People had to put together home offices, and sometimes their circumstances weren't perfect to that. But in the one contact center that I do work with, they managed to get a fair percentage of the workforce up and running, completely adapted all the systems, and it was incredible because they had no work from home strategy prior to that. So we can adapt. That's the thing. We're all very adaptable, and sometimes we just need a good shove to be able to get that to happen. I'll tell you what else it's doing that's interesting for me. I'm working with a project with a major motor manufacturer in the United States, and they are adamant that they want customers to self-fulfill their customer care and their customer needs in certain respects. So if you own a motor car and you want to either extend the warranty, or you want to extend the service plan, or take on a service plan, this is now all going to be done via digital adoption. So the mandate is no voice calls whatsoever. The project I'm working on, we've adapted a piece of technology that we used during lockdown to allow debtors to interact with the customer database to enable them to make arrangements and payments during lockdown on their store credit. We took the system, adapted it, and because it was a completely self-help scheme and we weren't allowed to phone anyone during that time, we've been able to adapt this and allow the customer to self-fulfill their requirements as far as their motor cars are concerned. It's going to be a very interesting project. This is one I'm passionate about, the digital world. I've been a digital pioneer. I was ahead of my time and often got arrows in my back like all pioneers do. But this is an exciting phase because COVID has forced us to bring these services to the public, allow them to self-fulfill. There's some good things that happen during this. Think of this. Who hasn't been phoned by a contact center or call center only to be irritated because they're phoning at an inconvenient time, or you've just got other better things to do than speak to a contact center? So now customers can self-fulfill at their convenience when it suits them 24/7, anytime they want to, 365, and they are able to choose what they want and get whatever their requirements are fulfilled through these self-help portals. There's another good thing that's come about as a result of COVID, and it's not just limited to the contact center world. I have other clients like in the auction business that are running all their auctions at the moment and have been for the last 3 months purely in the digital phase. So instead of going to the auction house, sitting down and bidding on the property, we've been receiving bids from all over the world on properties, commercial, industrial and agricultural, that have taken the service literally into a person's office or into their living room, where they can sit and bid on these properties, and before never existed. So in a way, it's forced the digital adaptation in an area that was very physical and almost an event that was put on for people to attend auctions and bid. As you see, so many are televised around the world and actually have become well-entrenched reality television programs. So there's 3 cases of forced adoption and forced adaptation during this very difficult time for many people. But one thing is for sure, our lives are never going to be the same again, and our business lives have changed. They have changed. What I want you to consider is just think through how many things you were not doing business-wise 5 months ago. How relevant was Zoom in your life 5 months ago? WebEx, Skype, or any of those. They were held out of necessity often, or a board member couldn't be present, so you brought them in via Zoom or via one of the digital platforms that allows us to have video interaction and meetings. Now it's the way it is. Think about this. When do you think you're going to travel again on business? It's something to consider. These are things we have to consider. This is going to be the new reality for us going forward. And even when we can travel, do you want to? How do you feel about staying in a hotel? How do you feel like being in a crowded workspace? How do you feel like being in a meeting room with a whole lot of people in close proximity? These are things we're going to have to deal with, and we are dealing with. We just don't realize how much is changing and how much we have changed in this short space of time. We're looking at all sorts of businesses adopting different ways of doing business. Some have adapted wonderfully. Others, unfortunately, have gone by the wayside. And we've lost some long-standing and well-established businesses that just haven't made it. Personally, I'm very happy I'm not in the travel sector. I'm very happy I'm not in the hospitality sector, because I think these have been really hard hit. But it doesn't matter what area of business you are in. Everything has changed, and that we cannot escape. Our ability to adapt and our ability to adopt new technologies, new ways of doing our business is going to be our very essence of our survival. And we'll keep bringing you examples of how people have adapted and adopted, and we're looking forward to some really interesting stuff around the agile coaching space, where businesses have used their agile programs to have cross-functional teams. I've seen in the businesses I'm associated with many different people doing all sorts of things that they never did before, and I've seen teams working together like they've never worked before. Do you know why? Because they have to. That's the way it is right now, and it's an exciting future. It's not going to be without its challenges, but we're all in it together, and we're all going to get through it. So I look forward to bringing you the next update in the near future.